Is your law firm having difficulty competing with LegalZoom and other online legal providers? I've been running a law firm for the last 12 years that directly competes with one of LegalZoom's core services, and we've been winning. It is very possible to compete with these larger companies, even as a very small law firm, and I'm going to share with you the blueprint here on how to do it.
Welcome to the Josh Gerben Show, because law school didn't teach business.
Hi everybody, Josh Gerben. Welcome to episode 18 of the Josh Gerben Show. This is the show where we talk about the business of law and just how to become a better business person as an attorney. Today I want to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, and that is how do law firms compete with LegalZoom and other online legal providers and legal directories in today's world. So I've heard it from a lot of attorneys that, LegalZoom is, taking clients away and hurting the practice of law and all these negative things. LegalZoom, you can name the other ones as well. They're all out there, and people, can go online and go to these websites and pay a small fee and get something done. And lawyers have been complaining about that ever since they popped up. But what I'm here to tell you is that the existence of LegalZoom and other online legal providers is not the end of law practice as we know it. I started my trademark practice in 2008 and have acquired clients pretty much exclusively through digital marketing, meaning online marketing, going right up against LegalZoom. And we've been extremely successful building a firm from 0 clients to literally thousands of clients and 5 attorneys. So to compete with LegalZoom, there are really 5 fundamental things to get right. And I want to give you this blueprint because I want attorneys to go out and I want you to dominate the LegalZooms of the world. I want us to put them out of business, okay? I think that private attorneys can easily stand up to these larger companies and not enable them to take business away from us. So here are the 5 points. I'm going to run through them real quick and then we'll go over them in detail. The first is you have to have a fantastic website. The second is you have to understand search marketing and do SEO and pay-per-click well. The third is you have to have packages for your services and advertise your fees. You have to be very transparent on fees. The fourth is you have to be very accessible. And the fifth is you have to be blunt about how an attorney can assist a client better than a form you find on a website. So the first point on my list is you have to have a fantastic website. And I mean, it has to be great. LegalZoom's biggest advantage over most attorneys is they understand marketing and they understand websites and how to take a new visitor to their website and convert that visitor to a lead. Most attorney websites just do not have a lot of science behind them. They just slap up some information, the attorney's picture, and a contact form. So if somebody hits your website, there has to be very good information there. You have to be able to take that person through a page or two and ensure that they contact your firm with a phone call or an email. And if you want to know if your website rises to the occasion and can actually compete with a LegalZoom, all you have to do is drop me an email and I'll give you the honest to goodness truth. My email is josh@joshgerben.com. Send me your URL and I'll give you free feedback on what I think of your website. And the reason I think you should ask me is because, again, for the last 12 years, my website has gone toe-to-toe with LegalZoom and we win out a lot. So I will be brutally honest with you because the vast majority of attorney websites I see would never compete with LegalZoom, and that's why people sometimes choose a website like LegalZoom or others when they're looking for a solution to a legal problem. Now, my second point is you have to understand search marketing. You have to understand SEO and pay-per-click. And the reason for this is a website does not work in the same way a lot of things have worked in the past. In other words, if you build it, they will not necessarily come. Okay, you can have the best looking website, it could just do fantastic things, but unless you get people to the website, nothing's ever going to happen. And there's 2 ways to get people to your website, and that is search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising. Now, if you're a local law firm and you're looking to just dominate a region, whether it be Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, wherever you're located, if you're just trying to dominate one geographic area, that is an amazing place to be because it's very possible to do in today's world. You need to start by hiring a very good local search engine optimization company. And I do have another video we'll put in the show notes that talks about how to hire a very good search engine optimization company and not one that'll just take your money. And you need to develop very good content around your website. Again, if you're just targeting one geographic area, this is very easy. My firm has to target literally the entire world, and so it has been a much harder push to compete with LegalZoom on that level. But if you're a local family lawyer or a local corporate lawyer, and you're just trying to attract businesses from your local area, putting out content and doing search engine optimization to dominate that local market and get folks from that market to your page should be something that's very doable. And you can supplement all those efforts with pay-per-click advertising, because LegalZoom's almost always going to be in the pay-per-click ads, which are the ones that appear at the top of Google. And you can compete with them, again, on a local level, because the cost when you get pay-per-click locally is a lot less per click than if you have to go on a national scale. But if you understand those two things and can drive traffic to your website, so when people are trying to figure out who are they going to hire for a particular task, and your website looks really good, now all of a sudden you're going to get the phone call or email in all likelihood. Now, my third point layers on top of the first two, and that's that you have to have packages for service and offer clear, flat rates. Again, the biggest advantage that LegalZoom has over most private attorneys is they say, for $99, we will do this. For $129, we will do that. And it's a very simple price point. It's a very low price point, and people just, okay, let me do that, right? Now, here's the thing. You don't have to compete on price with LegalZoom, but you have to compete on clarity of price. Let me explain what I mean. Our firm offers a flat rate service of $950 for a trademark search and filing. At last check, this is about double the advertised rate of LegalZoom and even triple or quadruple their lower rates. Now, I'm not going to get people that are just looking for a $99 service, but when people come to our website and they see the quality of services that we can provide, many times they're going to spend the extra few dollars to ensure that their legal matter is taken care of properly. But when they come to our website, they are presented with that $950 fee. So they understand, there's this aura about attorneys that we're going to be so expensive they can't afford you. And most businesses can afford $950 for a trademark. So if they see that, all of a sudden they know if they call us, might be something within their price range at our firm. So when someone hits your website, they need to be presented with the fee of what it's going to take to get certain things done, so they understand that you may be within their budget. This has the added benefit of kicking people away and not having them waste your time if they're only looking for the $99 service. So if somebody comes to your website and sees it's going to cost $500 or $1,000 to retain you and that's not in their budget, they're just not going to call you. And that's what you want. You don't want people calling you all day long wasting your time. You only want the serious inquiries, and posting fees on your website will help get those more serious inquiries into the door. Now, the fourth point here is you have to be accessible. This is the kryptonite to LegalZoom, is that they don't have lawyers that can just pick up the phone instantaneously and talk to someone. You have to go through a whole system, whatever it is, fill out all these forms. If someone contacts your firm, do not make it difficult for them to get to you as the attorney. You need to be able to get on the phone with them right away, answer their questions, provide them good information, and be very friendly and develop a relationship. Because ultimately, law is still about relationships. People hire lawyers because they want to trust somebody with their most important matters. So if you could develop a relationship with someone in a quick phone call, even a quick meeting at your office, you're going to make LegalZoom or other online legal providers just not even an option for that person anymore, because now they trust you and there's something very important they're going to trust you with. But being accessible is not something that a lot of lawyers do very well. We're all really busy, okay? And if you're a successful lawyer already, you're definitely very busy. But if you're not going to carve out time in your day to get back to new inquiries and be accessible to them, then you're just not going to grow your practice. So my fifth and final point is you just have to be blunt with the potential client that's calling you. If somebody calls and asks you what's the difference between you and LegalZoom or any other online service provider, you need to have an answer ready for that question. You need to explain the benefit of hiring an attorney and what an attorney can do that a non-attorney and just a form can't. And this is going to be very unique to your particular situation. But in a context of a trademark application, which is what we do, there's a lot of legal decisions that go into various different points of what you put into a trademark application. So while, yes, you could just fill out a form and submit an application, that may not be your best application. There may be things in there you shouldn't have put in there that just filling out a form and having someone review it that's not an attorney and submit it is going to put you in a precarious legal position. And we can explain why an attorney can be really helpful to go through and not only get the application correct, but even do the trademark search before the application is filed and provide a really good, thoughtful advice as to whether this trademark is even something that should be pursued. And you need to think about that in your own industry. What are the advantages of an attorney? And it may be obvious to us because we're attorneys, right? But you need to write it out in bullet points and in language that other people can understand, and then explain that to them when you get the question. And don't be offended by the question. So easy to be offended by that question as an attorney, right? Just don't be offended by it. Have a good answer ready to go. All right, so I hope all of these tips have been helpful for you. I know it's really difficult in today's world. There's so many options for people, and really education of a consumer is a big, big problem. But if you have a really good website and you get traffic to that website, that's how you're going to compete with these larger companies like LegalZoom, UpCounsel, all these other folks that are out there in today's world trying to take the legal consumer away from the small local law firms and even the mid-sized regional firms as well. So if you have any questions on how your law firm's doing, you can feel free to reach out to me. As I mentioned earlier in the video, my email address is josh@joshgerben.com. We're also on social media. You can reach out to us on Instagram, LinkedIn. Come find us. I'm happy to get a conversation started online or just person to person. Thanks for joining us today, and I'll talk to you next time.